All right, welcome to this edition of 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside Ms. Albert Sita and Guillermo Sita. And no, you're not seeing triple. We are wearing the exact same shirt. Christmas came early. Compliments of the Madhouse clothing line, MMA all day. Go shop to madhouse.com. I want to thank them for the awesome shirts.
Yeah, great shirts.
Yeah, how you guys feeling?
Matter
Good?
of fact, our partnership's gonna grow.
Expand
actually,
Yeah, we're in talks. They want to do contests so we can give out these
Giveaways,
shirts.
guys. Everybody loves a free shirt. These are actually real nice. They're
Yeah.
real soft cotton.
nice ones to use at the gym too.
Yeah.
Not that FiveRoundMMA goes to gym.
Not that we work out,
I'm
but
just saying.
if you do
for
like to
those
work
that
out,
do,
it
these are perfect.
is clothes for the fighter and fight fanatic. So
Yeah,
we
good
are fight
walkout
fanatics
shirts, too.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So this Saturday, UFC 168, Silva versus Weidman 2, or is it Weidman versus Silva? Who gets top billing?
It should be Weidman, but Silva.
That's a good question. Who gets top billing? Silva?
Yeah, I
it
guess.
should be Silva, but it is
I don't
declared
agree with
Wyman
it.
versus
Weidman
Silva.
versus Silva. Oh, so
Obviously,
Weidman
Weidman's
gets-
the best
It
fighter
should be
in the
Silva
world.
versus Wyman. but-
So in the rematch, the world was dying to see, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess, kind
No?
of. Not really.
No?
I mean, I'll be happy to see Chris Weidman knock him out again. I mean, if that's what we're paying for, then give it back to me again.
if that's what the extra $5 is
yeah,
for,
if that's what the extra $5
extra
is, another
$5,
knockout
yeah.
of Anderson Silva, I'm okay with
Extra
it.
$5.
Thank you, Dana White.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, if you're gonna pay to see this pay per view in your house, you gotta
gonna
cough
be
up an extra $5.
$5.
Which is probably why,
No.
because you got 2 title bouts and I'm pretty sure 4 big contracts in Michigan,
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey.
It's funny
Chris
'cause-
Weidman and Anderson Silva. But you think you know how the NFL has all those really crappy rookie contracts? You think
Yeah.
Chris Weidman's on a really bad rookie
Yeah,
contract?
Probably, but I mean, I don't even think Albert loves Anderson Silva. I don't even think he's gonna pay for the pay per view just because it's $5 extra.
Well, I heard our good
whoa,
friend.
whoa.
I heard our good friend Jason Hendricks is sponsoring
Yeah,
the event. So.
Yeah, but he said he's only letting people in with Chris Weidman shirts.
Does he have who's like I don't even know who's he has a walkout shirt?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Tap out, right? Is it tap out or was it?
I forgot, but he sent me a picture. This
I'll
morning.
just
really?
get like a white
That's pretty
T-shirt
cool.
and write Chris Wyman on it, and then underneath I'm gonna put the spider. So when the spider wins, I flip do one of those.
So Spider Silva, Anderson Silva is nearing I guess the end of his career. I guess you could say, right? He's kind of
Yeah.
lost his desire to.
Well,
really-
not only that. I mean, look at his age.
Yeah, that's true. As we in this week too, for all you basketball fans or just sports fans out there,
Not everybody's Chuck Norris. So
true. In related news, not really related, but it kind of goes with the question I want to ask you guys. Kobe Bryant came back.
too
Just
soon.
4 games in, 6 games in.
And he hurt himself again.
Hurt himself again, out for another 6 weeks. People are saying, okay, should he just, pack it in? Is he staying too long?
Well, Charles Barkley said he should just call it this season.
Yeah.
Take a break and then come back next season stronger, or see if he can go with his 2-year extension. But
Yeah. So it kind of goes to that theme of athletes staying around too long and kind of ruining their legacy. But I kind of to tie a nice bow on this, will Saturday night end up defining Anderson Silva's career and legacy with the win or loss?
not at all. The only thing that can even tarnish a little bit of his legacy is another knockout from Chris Weidman to Anderson Silva, and it just a little smidge on his legacy.
Well, because my example is Fedor's legacy hurt by the losses he had in Strikeforce?
Yeah, but that's because there's a tycoon or a certain individual that really hates Fedor.
Dana White.
Yeah, and he spread the word that this guy's a nobody, a joke.
Yeah.
Even though all the guys that beat him got signed
Yeah, I mean,
by him. So.
out of the 3 of us, you're the biggest Anderson Silva fan. You followed his career for a long time. Will Saturday night end up defining?
I think
Albert?
there's like an interesting viewpoint when it comes to these athletes. I think if he does lose at the moment, it's gonna feel that way, but in the long run, I don't think it will. Because if you look at Mike Tyson's towards the end of his career, who really talks about that or remembers about that?
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. He had 2 losses before he finished his career. One of them being a TKO loss. And I mean, when was the last time you heard that? You know what I'm saying? I think in the long run it doesn't affect his legacy, but in the short run, I think a lot of people are going to be saying that he wasn't really that good to begin with.
I think the questions are going to come out in the beginning if he loses
if
again.
he loses,
Yeah,
big if, a big
Anderson Silva
if.
loses. Think
Who do you
about it.
fight?
I mean, he only who's Patrick Cote?
Yeah,
he
who-
couldn't even finish.
Was
Damian
it Rich
Maia.
Franklin, a math teacher?
Yeah, exactly. So you're gonna have those kind of guys there who did. I mean, didn't he use Lucian Okami back in the day?
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I guess it all goes how you want to remember Michael Jordan, right? For another example, you want to remember him knocking the game-winning shot against the Jazz, or you want to remember him
the Washington Wizards.
sub 500 team of the Washington Wizards. But I guess a fighter's legacy is his own, right?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva could have called it a career a long time ago, but
Yeah, but I mean, I think Chris Weidman wins this fight again.
and obviously if Chris Weidman wins, it's the beginning of the legacy for Chris Weidman.
Beginning of his like
Yeah, I think if he does beat Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman already has a legacy to begin, like a good start off base. On his legacy.
And there's plenty of fighters at 185 now if he wants to continue.
Yeah.
legacy.
Well, there are also a lot of guys chomping at the bit in the middleweight division to get after him. I mean, because he only has, this would be his 11th career total pro fight. When you got, like, what I think Vitor Belfort has 11 losses in his career. So it's kind of like these guys are chomping at the bit to get after him.
I really can't wait for Chris Weidman to clear out the black house in the middleweight division.
Are you trying to say Machida's going to get a title shot pretty soon? Is that what you're saying? He said Machida get a title shot.
You heard him.
Maybe, but he's going to lose.
We'll see.
Well, Machida's already scheduled a fight, and it sounds like it's going to be a first contender fight.
Oh wow!
Against
that's gonna be like
vicious
Gegard Mousasi.
Gegard Mousasi.
That's like if you're a hardcore fight fan, that fight's gonna be like amazing to watch.
Yeah,
I think Mousasi said he's like specifically training karate too for this fight.
Yeah,
wow.
So
it's gonna be amazing. And the guy's at 205, not because I think he has to be in that division, but because I don't think he wants to really put it. He's one of those guys that it comes to him naturally.
Yeah.
And then I think at 185, he's going to have to actually work for it. Now, a guy that with that much natural talent and getting in shape.
I just want to say, look at this. Well, we started off against Anderson Silva, and you mentioned Machida once. Look at this guy.
I know, seriously. It becomes the Machida show.
Yeah, really. So to wrap up on this, UFC 168 is this Saturday, December 28th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Remember, if you want to watch it on pay-per-view, you got to pay $5 extra. So you'd be like our friend Jason Henriksen, charge at the door. So guys, stick
this
around.
ends a segment like Kobe Bryant's career.
Don't even. That's a low blow, dude. We will ride into the playoffs on the back of Pau Gasol.
Ooh, yeah, right. If he stays a Laker.
There's our
Trade.
ex, Xavier Henry. And there's so we got much more to talk about, so stick around, guys.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
All right, welcome back. As we, the New Year's ending, the New Year's beginning in 2014. The UFC is actually going to get right off the bat, no break. January 4th will be their first event of 2014.
Really? I haven't seen no promos.
Well, it's strange because it's being held in Singapore.
What?
And also that it's not going to be aired in the United States on television. You have to have, I think, the UFC.
Well, who's
app,
fighting
right?
then?
Well, the main event was supposed to be between Tariq Seferdin, who's finally making his UFC debut. And it's not going to be even seen on live television against Jake Ellenberger. But Ellenberger got hurt, so he had to pull out. Now Seferdin's facing Hyung Yu Lim. So
if Jake Ellenberger and Tariq Seferdin actually were to happen, was it going to be televised in the
I don't
US?
think so.
It should have been if it was.
Regardless,
from what I read, no, it was supposed to be. It's going to be on that subscription. Aren't you subscribed to UFC Network or the app or whatever?
I was until Dana White charged me $5 for the next pay-per-view. I had to make up the money, so
yeah.
Also, it charges you for the app too.
It doesn't charge you for the app, but you do have to pay per viewing or whatever.
Yeah. So this is basically a sign of things that come for the UFC entering the world market. We just had one in event in Australia. I mean, but they always have a stronghold in Australia and Canada.
Yeah, and a couple places in Europe too.
Yeah. But as far as the Asian market, UFC doesn't really have a grasp on it. I think they have the Japanese market because of the Pride Days, but I don't think.
But I mean, like they haven't even gone that much to Japan.
For crying out, the only other named person I think United States fan will notice is Max Holloway on that card. Everybody else is an Asian fighter, so it's kind of like saying like.
So is this really like? Is this kind of like what if
because if China knew about the UFC, then they could have put a name opponent. But because they don't really know these names, why put these name opponents out there and pay them so much money if it's not really going to matter?
Well, did they also do the Tough China, right?
Yeah, they also did Tough China. That's going to be airing way later on. They don't have it scheduled until. Says here until March of 2014.
They're trying to get the way up to China, starting with Singapore, because Singapore is a republic, a sovereign city-state.
Ooh.
So, obviously, China's a one point.
Are you trying to get into politics?
Well, no, but I'm just saying it's not technically
You're
China.
doing a good job, sir.
China, 1.3 billion people.
Yeah.
Obviously, the NBA is trying to make actually do have a pretty good stronghold on China.
Yeah.
Obviously,
thanks to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, thanks to Kobe
Bryant. So. Obviously, it's a lot of money to be made there. You see what the UFC's plan is. They want to be known as one of the world's biggest sports. So, but
I think UFC needs a Yao Ming.
Really, yeah, because they don't have any Asian fighters, right? So, do you think is UFC kind of expanding a little too quickly right now, or?
Yeah, and you can see the water down of the cards.
Yeah.
And then just to show like how they're literally putting all their eggs in the Asian and European market because if you look at mid 2014, starting in like September, it's technically starting in March, they go to China, and then they're gonna go to Ireland, Poland, Turkey, Germany, Sweden, Scotland.
None of this is official though, right? But
None of this is official, but it's speculated that these are the places they plan on hitting on 2014. So they're still pushing for these cities.
Yeah, well, going back to that Kobe Bryant point, like whenever the UFC has an event in a different country, they always make sure to stack it with natives of that country.
Yeah.
And like whenever they go to England, Michael Bisping's always on the card in main event trying to guarantee people
Yeah.
there. But like when the NBA goes, I mean, they don't have
Yeah, because they have that global market star.
Yeah. So, but there is no. Is there a global market star in the UFC that can do that? Like
Anderson Silva.
Wouldn't it behoove the UFC to go to China and have John Jones as the main event?
No, the only two people I see is Anderson Silva and the now retired George St. Pierre.
But so they should have that, not have a stack it with a bunch of the local fighters, right? Or Tariq Stephanie.
I totally agree. I mean, how are you going to grow it or sell your product without the best out there?
I mean, how do you go to England and not have like? Don't you want to showcase your best fighters and not have like Dan Hardy and stuff like? I mean, are you trying to please that local market? Or are you trying to broaden the whole spectrum of the world? You right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I don't know what they're doing here. It's not like the NFL sent Adrian Peterson out there and that did pretty well too. So
I
it's
think what it is, they just want to show.
They didn't find the one team with the only English player. On
Exactly.
Them, so
I think they just want to show the UFC brand in China. And then slowly start bringing the bigger
Asian
names.
markets,
Maybe if there's because
what risk do you
want to see it, if they
Yeah.
get good ratings and stuff, maybe we can start.
Yeah, because by using all these no-name fighters at the card, what real risks are they taking? To
Yeah,
tell you the
exactly.
truth, I
Yeah.
mean, if it's a bomb, it's not like it came out of their pocket.
I mean, you
that
send
much.
Anderson Silva out there and you don't get
And the bombs,
you
Yeah,
don't,
then
get
you're in
buys or people
big
to show up
trouble.
to the stadium, then you're in
No.
trouble. Because I'm pretty sure his contract,
yeah.
he wants some cut.
But I mean, because like it goes back. We obviously know that Japan is a big fight town, but do they really have is the UFC really? I don't,
Well, ever since Pride, no, I don't think that anybody has claimed that Asian market.
yeah, because there's no really worldwide stars in the UFC. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Sexy Yama for Albert, but
Sexy Yama.
he didn't pan out.
It didn't pan out the way the UFC wanted.
Yeah,
and
I
how
think
I wanted.
that's where their eggs were.
He could have been the David Beckham of MMA, but he dropped the ball.
And then speaking of the NFL, they always send the Jaguars. I hate that.
really? Did they, oh yeah, it was.
It seems like they always send the
Is it because
Jaguars.
of their logo or something?
Or the Buffalo Bills.
Because everybody knows who the Jaguar, what a Jaguar is.
yeah, I guess I don't know.
Because if you send the Patriots, you're like, what's a Patriot?
well,
You
I
know,
mean,
don't know.
when they had
The
it in
Cowboy,
England, right?
what's a star?
Was it the Steelers? Yeah, true. The Steelers and the Vikings, right? The Vikings are kind of European, right? Aren't they?
I don't know. I don't remember that game being in Europe.
Yeah, it was in
it was
London,
the
wasn't it?
49ers and Jaguars,
No,
and then it was
this season was
Buffalo-
London.
Yeah, it was the Niners and Jaguars, and then I forgot who else. Probably
Yeah,
Buffalo Bills.
No, this season was Vikings and Steelers in London. I remember because they
Well, I think the Europeans can relate to the Vikings.
yeah, I think because at the time they had both had horrible records, so this is the NFL sending over there.
Yeah,
But it could be the equivalent of Tariq Stephanie and
And those 70 ain't no joke.
yeah.
Come on.
You guys feel kind of bad for
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Yes,
This is
I do.
He is the former Strike Force champion. The last Strike Force champion.
I think it
of
would.
his weight class.
I think it was a good matchup with Ellenberger, but now
Yeah.
that he's dropped out, I mean, come on.
After all, he's calling out all these fighters, wanted somebody.
if he beats Hungu Lim,
Yeah.
does it really?
It's kinda like
does
when
it
the-
really put him up on
it's like if a tree falls into force and somebody hear it. If Tariq Stephanie gets a knockout victory and nobody sees it, did it really happen?
yeah, and that's
Well, it's
that's
kind of
all.
like Alexander Gustafsson fighting Musasi and then Gustafsson dropping out.
Yeah.
It's like, was that really fair for Musasi?
Yeah. Well, Musashi just went to work and that was it. Collected a paycheck and then
Yeah.
seriously.
But I don't know, I think it's going to be interesting to see 2014 for the UFC as they expand globally and see how they handle these cards. And is it just really just kind of test the waters and when they will start? I think what you'll see when UFC is really serious about expanding globally is when they start sending John Jones
Yeah.
to Asia, start sending Cain
felt like-
Velasquez to Australia.
Yeah.
Start,
I felt like they were going that way when you saw
Well, they did send him as
Anderson
Anderson before.
But I mean,
As a champion,
As
yeah.
a
Well,
champion.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva was there. I mean, I saw them trying to do that,
But
now
that seemed that
now
card
it's
was
getting-
more little behind the scenes to pay off the investors.
It looked more like a
Political thing.
political.
But I mean, I get your point
move.
there. But I mean, if you want to expand globally, you gotta give the whole world your best foot forward, right? Once you
Yeah.
want to do that,
yeah.
if you're a company, I mean, here's Singapore, here's Tariq Stephanie, enjoy.
Yeah, It feels like, oh, Kane's good, so we're gonna send him to Mexico, Texas, and California,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It's
So,
just-
if only your country or your area has a good fighter, will you ever see a good card?
yeah, that's kind of. I mean, you shouldn't have to do that. I mean, the World Cup is held in the world, right? But
Well, randomly.
yeah,
No,
well, not randomly,
technically, politically.
Well, we will. Our next show is gonna be pretty big. It's gonna be our
Review of the
a
year.
review,
Oh, yeah,
our look back at
2013.
2013.
yeah, we are taking a week off, so guys. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We will see you guys in the new year, 2014. But until then, make sure to follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. Go to FiveRoundMMA.com for articles. But before you go there, go to OvertimeDanSoden.com for specific CR articles. But go to FiveRoundMMA.com anyway, see our pretty faces, see links for all of our sponsors. Speaking of our sponsors, I want to thank Honey Badger Performance Energy Drinks. Go to drinkhoneyBadger.com and grab a scoop and get the most out of your workout. I want to thank Top Rated MMA, makers of 100% American-made MMA apparel. Go shop topratedmma.com and follow them on Twitter at topratedmma. And a big thank you to the Madhouse clothing line for the shirts. Go shop themadhouse.com and follow them on Twitter, the Madhouse MMA. And while you're on the internet, on your iPad, iPhone, follow us on Facebook, Instagram.
Twitter.
I already said Twitter, right? I think we're getting the MySpace under
No,
thing,
never.
no?
Because we have an album coming out.
Yeah, we got no Vine either, right?
Not yet.
No.
Not that I know.
Snapchat?
No.
I'm not that hip yet.
No, never mind. I'm not that 16-year-old girl. Sorry. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to thank your executive producer, Guillermo Cedar, sound engineer, Stephen Rouse with Rousel Records. I'd like to thank everybody for listening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Cream of the crop.